I was looking at Normal People, and I was like,
Oh,
you
God.
don't have the book, you have the scripts. And then I remembered that Fleabag was called The Scriptures, which I think is really funny, so I was looking at that. But I was
that is
listening.
funny.
I
Oh,
was
no,
just
no,
looking over
no,
there, and
no.
my eyes drifted.
For listeners at home, Ari owns the whole collection of Normal People scripts and the Fleabag scriptures, because he's
Sad little boy.
he's a sad little boy. The thing that's frustrating though is I'm not sure if this is true of the Fleabag ones. The Fleabag scripts in that book feel more like actual scripts, like they just took the shooting scripts and put them in there.
Okay.
And put them in like leather bound them or whatever. The Normal People ones, I was reading it and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's so sparse.
Mm-hmm.
And much like the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reading it and was just like, how did they know the show would be like as moody and sort of ethereal as it is?
Sure.
From what's on that page in this collection of scripts.
Mm-hmm.
But then I looked online and you can find the first 3 episodes, I think on BBC or something.
Mm-hmm.
They have like the actual like scripts that they use for the show, and they're way more wordy. They're way more descriptive, and there's way more dialogue, and it looks like they just really cut it down to set the vibe of the show in the edit, which I think makes sense. But so I think this like published collection of Normal People scripts they're more like transcripts.
Oh, I see.
Which is kind of annoying.
That is
It's not like an accurate representation of how it was written.
Yeah.
But I will say the first 3 episodes that you can find online, the PDFs, they're a great read. If you like the show, it's like, I think very like informative.
Cool.
About how you would go about writing something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love that show. I've watched it like 3 times.
Wow, you really are a sad little boy.
I know. It's so silly. And I don't watch TV really. But when I do, it's like that. I just like rewatch it. It's ridiculous.
That's cool.
Oh jeez. But anyway, we're talking about movies.
We're not talking about TV.
We're talking about TV. There's nothing wrong with TV. We're in a golden age of TV, allegedly.
I love TV. People keep saying golden age of TV. Did we ever leave the golden age of TV?
I guess there's always something pushing the boundaries, really.
Yeah, I feel like there's always like, because people will be like, oh man, remember in 1994 on a Friday you could watch Seinfeld and then Frasier and then whatever else would come on. Like people will always do that. They'll be like, when I was a kid, this was my block, and it would be like 3 hours. It's like, yeah, TV's always been good. I don't really understand why people keep saying we're in the golden age.
Yeah.
And actually, I have a lot of thoughts about that. Unfortunately.
No. I don't have any thoughts on it at all. To me, I think what's so unfair about that, what you're talking about, like the golden age or whatever, like calling that now, is like, it seems to put like the HBO-ness of all these networks, that all these networks have adopted as like a gold standard. Whereas I think if you watch like Frasier, like those first few episodes, first few seasons of Frasier are so great. Yeah. And they're adhering to like a structure. They're like not particularly like seedy or anything or like controversial, but yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just going off.
No. And what I think Frasier is like, my top 3 TV shows. I love Frasier. And what I appreciate so much about that show specifically is that everybody wants to shit on sitcoms. People have been shitting on sitcoms for decades. And Frasier, on top of being a great show, I think it's really valuable to remember that we had a free program that came on, something that everybody had, and the humor and the storylines were based on you being mildly educated. Like,
yeah,
Frasier and Niles are supposed to be pretentious, and the big joke is that they're pretentious, but also whenever they tell a joke, you have to know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And people did. That's why it was like the #1 TV show for like 3 years. Like,
Dude, go off. That's a beautiful summary of. Yeah, it was free. It was readily available to everybody.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I never thought about it that way.
It bugs me so bad.
Because I guess like all these streamers, there is a paywall.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I watched the Emmys with my friend as a joke, and because they were watching it and I came over and they were like, "Do you want to watch the Emmys?" We're watching the Emmys. We also don't have to watch the Emmys. I was like, whatever. So we're watching and the Bear swept comedy, which everybody thought was like category fraud, and then
that's what
and then Succession swept drama, and everybody was like, "Yeah, duh." And all these people there was like huge backlash. I was reading articles about it after the Emmys where they were like, how come stuff like NCIS or Yellowstone never get nominations? Yellowstone got a lot of nominations in the past. Yellowstone is always sweeping. And one could argue that those shows just aren't of the same quality. I understand all of that. But also, there are people in America who haven't seen Succession. We keep talking about it like it's this
Right.
cultural touchstone, and that it's like people like when you think about the people flooded Times Square to watch the Seinfeld finale, people aren't doing that with Succession, no matter how great it is, because there are
Right.
people who do not want to buy HBO for one show.
Yeah, that's so funny. And like I think if I think about my friends and family in the place where I'm from,
Right.
they're not watching Succession.
No.
And I feel like the amount of and living in Los Angeles, fuck it. Living in Los Angeles, we're just inundated with for your consideration posters and billboards.
Yeah.
I feel like I have such an inaccurate representation of what is truly popular
Absolutely.
and what people care about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My mom, she knows what Succession is. And if I told her more about it, I guarantee all she would come away with was, I didn't know Macaulay Culkin had a brother.
Dude, yeah, I think the one thing, if my mother was like, what the hell is Succession? I would be like, yeah, Kieran Culkin, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know what? Have you ever seen Yellowstone?
No, but dude, when I worked at Paramount,
Yeah.
everybody was into that show.
Yeah.
The whole, security guards, the nurses fucking love Yellowstone.
Well, yeah.
I
Because
haven't
it's
seen
free. What is no, Yellowstone isn't. Is Yellowstone on Yellowstone is on a cable channel, but I can't remember what it is.
I think it's Paramount Plus.
Is it just a Paramount Plus show?
I think so. Oh,
Wow.
man. Well,
Wow, my entire argument is falling apart. I mean, people watch. Well, here's the thing about that. People keep talking about NCIS, and they were like, the last season of NCIS was really good. NCIS, there's a reason that shit is running. People think it's a money laundering scheme. It's not. People
do people actually say that?
the big joke is that they'll be like, who's watching this? Why are there 6 spin-offs? Because
Dude,
people like it.
People like that show, man.
Um,
Oh, no, it's on Peacock. Oh, my God, it is on Peacock. Whoa.
Oh.
So it is free. What the fuck?
there we go. Well, I have been redeemed.
Damn, dude, that's actually that's dope. Anyway, but no, that's so interesting. The other thing that frustrates me about, especially actors complaining about something like NCIS, it's like, yo, that's just another job opportunity.
Absolutely.
That shit.
It's a show with an ensemble cast that has 6 spin-offs with ensemble casts.
Yeah. With new characters every week.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wouldn't say I know a lot of people, but I know people who have worked on NCIS, and they're like,
Oh, same.
whatever, however many episodes, whatever. If you can get 2 NCIS, and you know what else? I was visiting my aunt who is in her 70s, and she was watching NCIS, and I was like, a friend of mine was on that show. She was like, what episode? And I was like, let me Google it. And I was like, I think it was about this. And she was like, I remember them. That's a great episode. People care about that stuff. People watch it.
Yeah, people watch it. There's a reason that shit's around. And the other thing too, I always come back to this. When I was working at a hospital, the time and time again, the patients that were kind of having the roughest time would have the news on, you know, and like, and the energy in the room was always like horrible. And yeah, it was just rough. It was rough. And they would have like CNN or Fox News, whatever the fuck, just on constantly. And just, it was awful. And the people that seemed to be doing the best would either listen to music, listen to nothing. Some of them would just like sit and like think and then like talk to family and shit. Or they would have like Hallmark Channel on, or like something like NCIS. Yeah. And like those, like that, like there's a time and a place for that shit.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I mean, people, they're soap operas, which are valuable. They are the backbone of American television.
Yeah. Friend of the podcast, Brenda.
Friend of the podcast, Brenda. They're the backbone of American television. And not only that, I don't think people realize that. I do think soap operas had a golden age. Practically every single film actor that we consider to be great came from soap operas. And I don't think people know that. Julianne Moore, Ray Liotta.
Oh, holy shit. I didn't know that.
Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick Boseman were on the same soap opera. I mean...
Whoa. And then fucking Margot Robbie and like Guy Pearce were on the Australian... Like,
oh yeah, Nicole Kidman used to do like their version of Disney XD when she was like a teenager. She was on one of those friggin' shows.
Yeah, man.
It was about BMX bikers or something.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Like, people want to shit on this stuff, and I understand that you could whatever you say. Oh well, that doesn't mean that it's good just because a good actor was in it. But we do the exact reverse. We go, oh, I'll watch this because this person's in it. It's probably good.
Yeah, true. Fuck.
It just bothers me. I don't really like... And also, back to what we were talking about, the golden age of television, they've been talking about this since, like, The Sopranos. I don't think you get to call it the golden age of television if it's been, like, 25 years.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
That's a totally separate point, but I was just
Right.
thinking about that. I just think it's really stupid. I think the hierarchy of television and stuff, there's trash TV just like there's trash movies, but also most of it is good.
Yeah.
Most of it's good.
Most everybody knows what they're doing, like, you know, to some degree.
Yeah. And NCIS isn't even that bad. The original one. I don't like Quantico or whatever, or the other. I don't like some of the spin-offs.
I haven't watched it since
NCIS.
a homie was in it. But the editing in those shows is just so whack.
It's
Like,
smack myself right.
the camera is constantly like panning,
Oh yeah.
so they don't have to worry about continuity, right, or something. Like
Something like that.
there's like some practical reason to it, but it's like so. I just find it so insane. I'm like, what am I watching?
Which is something that we praise Michael Bay for. Everybody loves his camera techniques, but it's the
right.
exact same fucking thing.
Oh right,
Not to diss Michael Bay, I think he's cool. I'm just saying that
right.
on TV it's trash. Michael Bay does it and he's an auteur.
I mean,
I know a lot of people think Michael Bay is trash. I know a lot of people think Michael Bay is trash, but also he's not. He's awesome. And I think it's worth something to say that he constantly brings in money.
he does constantly bring
Because
in
people
money.
like his movies.
I think you know what's terrible? The last Michael Bay film I watched was, I didn't even finish it, was Six Underground.
Garbage.
Dude, I was like so shook how much I was disliking it.
Yeah.
Because like, that's another movie where like the ingredients, I'm like, fuck yes.
Totally.
Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's her face from Inglourious Bastards? Melanie
Leroy, yeah.
That's her name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's fucking awesome. Her
Yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds and fucking Dave Franco, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like
Yeah.
let's go. And then I was just so turned off by it.
Yeah.
So weird.
I'm choosing to blame it on Netflix.
You know, me too. And then also like, there's something about Ryan Reynolds, like, I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah.
That I don't think really lends itself to a Michael Bay film.
Not at all.
Like Michael Bay films are at their best when the characters give a fuck.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, his just like wishy-washy, like, this is everything's fine. Isn't it funny that I'm in this movie? It's like, it just doesn't work.
I think I saw Ambulance. Did I tell you about that when I saw Ambulance?
Oh no.
Michael Bay was there.
Oh shit.
It was like his first Q&A in like 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he talked for 2 hours. People kept going, Mike, it's time to leave. He goes, no, I want to keep talking to him. And you know what it is that Michael Bay has done some really shitty stuff. I'm not saying this to be like Michael Bay's super cool.
Yeah.
But what I did think was really cool was that he answered every single question that was asked. He only left when people didn't have any questions. Wow. And one guy was like, I made a short film for college, and you really inspired me. I made it like as an homage to your work, and I would love for you to watch it. And literally, Michael Bay watched the short film. Like 10 minutes of the Q&A was him watching this guy's short film, standing right next to him, like looking over his shoulder on his phone. And he was like, oh, that's really good. Oh, wow. Oh, no, that's cool. That's cool. And like asking him questions about his short film and stuff. And like, I would have shit my pants.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
And then when they forced him to leave the room, he stood outside and just took pictures with everybody that wanted to take pictures. I have a picture of Michael Bay.
Dude, that's nice to hear, because he seems. I have an ex who she got really deep into the like background game. Like she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and one of the Star Wars shows, and she was on Ambulance.
Oh hell yeah!
And it sounds like he's just a tyrant. It's like scary. And she there was like some miscommunication with one of the stunts, and her and another woman almost got hit by a car.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way he was talking about the stunts on Ambulance, he was saying everything was really safe, and then like kept telling these stories where like if anything had gone wrong, many people would have died.
Yeah, man. And I mean, he's had multiple deaths on his sets, or just the one. I think I know Transformers 2 somebody died.
Yeah.
Which is just so sad. Fuck.
But with Ambulance, I feel like that's like lines of Michael Bay. Like it's his most concentrated everything that he does. Like just him in a bottle.
That's cool.
It's a badass movie. Everybody wanted to hate on it, and I was like, it's because it's Michael Bay, because I think it's rad, and that's the thing. It's like two brothers that love each other a lot, but they've got so much conflict between them, and now they're in a stressful situation, and it's like the stakes are so high.
Yeah. It's so. I mean, the premise of that movie's amazing.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Just driving an ambulance around LA.
Oh my god, incredible! And the cast, out of control. Yeah, I don't really have an issue. I like in high school, I remember really loving Transformers.
Transformers is dope. And
dude, speaking of Criterion, fucking The Rock.
Hey.
The Rock is good.
Hey.
Yeah, and I have not seen the Bad Boys movies, actually.
Oh, me neither, actually.
Mm. Did he... Oh, and I haven't seen Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain is good.
Yeah, I'm like so annoyed that I haven't seen it.
Pain and Gain is actually like a character piece and a good Rock performance.
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of The Rock in that, and it's like he's amazing. He's a good actor. I know we talked about this last time, but he is a good actor.
Yeah.
And it's so depressing that he's not using it. God.
Do another Jumanji.
Do a fucking bonkers wrestling movie with the Safdie brothers for A24.
Ari, guess what?
Yeah. That's happening.
I forgot about them.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed he lets them break that clause.
I want to see The Rock lose.
I want to see The Rock lose too. That's interesting.
Absolutely. It's just interesting.
Yeah, and then he can come back.
Yeah, then you make a second one.
Yeah, dude.
Make more money.
Also, we know you're The Rock. Like, you won.
You're huge.
Like, you did
It's fiction. You're as big as a house. I know no one can beat you.
We know that.
Sometimes I think about, like, I have a really hard time. It's the same thing with plastic surgery. I have a really hard time admitting to and accepting that people do steroids.
Uh-huh.
So, like...
Wait, what do you mean?
like when people go, oh, Anne Hathaway is getting Botox. I'm like, don't talk about Anne Hathaway.
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
And not even like from a superficial way. It's just like, don't judge Anne Hathaway. She's in her 40s. She's a woman in Hollywood.
Yeah.
She's got to do what she's got to do.
Yeah, I struggle with this too. Well, not really like not wanting to, but like there's always a moment where I'm like, like I miss it when your forehead moved. But it's like, shut the fuck up, Ari. Like they're living their life. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
But steroid use.
Steroids. So I know The Rock does steroids, but I like to think that it's real, which is the whole point, right?
Yeah. Gosh, if you go down a certain self-help fitness path on YouTube,
Okay.
eventually you will get to like bodybuilders and stuff who openly talk about their steroid use. And they're like, yeah. Like that's the point.
Cool.
Like it's not natural.
Right.
Like, and we're taking steps to like kind of push boundaries, and it's better to like do it in a controlled way and the safest way possible,
Yeah.
because when you're just mainlining that shit without knowing any better, you can really fuck yourself up. But yeah, I mean, the thing with the reality is like any male star over the age of 40, if they're getting super jacked, they're not doing it naturally.
Absolutely.
Like they're taking something.
You know what I think is fucked up? This is something totally else. I was just, to wrap up that point. All I was thinking was like, I wonder how strong somebody on steroids actually is. Like, could someone beat The Rock in a fight, even though he's like the size of a mid-sized sedan? Like, how much of it is just like air?
Yeah. How much
Like,
of it is
is it-
aesthetics?
Is he actually stronger, or is he just have more muscle that isn't really like doing? I don't know how steroids work really.
Dude, yeah, actually, I don't know the answer to this question.
When Top Gun came out, Top Gun Maverick, I saw this when Top Gun came out. I was still a sperm.
A thought.
Yeah, probably not even a thought. I don't even think my parents had met yet.
Holy shit.
But when Top Gun Maverick came out, I saw this interview with Miles Teller where everybody was talking about the scene that everybody thinks about, or at least I think about on a daily basis.
When they're playing football.
But specifically how great his body looks.
Yeah.
And he was talking about something which I remembered Henry Cavill talking about way back when.
Oh, did he like dehydrate and shit?
Yeah. He was like, we'd not eat until we shot, and then not drink any water or anything like that. And then like minutes before they'd start rolling, just pound sugary stuff and like just to get our skin to suck over our muscles. And I was like, that's like abuse.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of crazy to
hear,
make a person
you hear
do.
what these men are doing, and it's like, that's an eating disorder, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like really bad. The one that's crazy is Hugh Jackman has passed out several times.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, because what? He's like 55 years old?
Well, I think the most recent one was like almost 10 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, X-Men, I think Wolverine Origins.
Jesus Christ.
He passed out when he like comes out of the water and just looks like super jacked. But yeah, he like I think he dehydrated for like 10 hours or something.
Of course.
It's just like so insane.
Because I mean, when he's Wolverine, he looks insane. Like even watching the first X-Men, Wolverine isn't that big. He's big. He's buff. He's Wolverine.
Whoa. You know what's wild?
Yeah.
Go.
No, just that like I feel like in Logan, he was obviously still supposed to look buff because that's Wolverine's like form. But he looked kind of ridiculous, like just like veins popping out of his neck and stuff.
Yeah.
And in the first X-Men, he's just like a big guy.
Well, the thing that makes me so sad about this particularly is, so if you listen to interviews with Hugh Jackman, I went through a real Hugh Jackman phase during
He's great.
the 2020 during COVID. He is great. I was just watching clips of his Oklahoma.
He's great in Oklahoma.
He's so good.
He's great. He's a wonderful musical theater actor.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, we all know this, but he's great.
Yeah. But he so he was doing Oklahoma when he auditioned for Wolverine,
Okay. Yeah.
and he didn't get it. It went to Dougray Scott, and Dougray Scott had to drop out because of Mission Impossible 2.
Who the hell is Dougray Scott?
He was in
Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2. He's the villain, and then he was in Ever After. He was the love interest of Drew Barrymore.
Okay. I don't even remember who the villain is in Mission Impossible 2.
Anyway, white guy. But
I'll
he
Google it later.
he was like a bigger star at that point. And I don't think Hugh Jackman had done a mainstream American film yet. And so it was Dougray Scott, and then Dougray Scott dropped out. And then at the last minute, they were like, okay, Hugh, it's you. And one of the first scenes they shot was that scene where he's shirtless in the school after being like woken up.
Yeah.
And Bryan Singer was like, you're supposed to be like in shape.
Oh, geez.
Or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And like he didn't have time to like train or anything,
Yeah.
And he wasn't like, obviously he wasn't like fat by any means, but there's not like a lot of definition.
Yeah.
He is just kind of like a tall,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
And they so in that scene you'll notice that they shoot up
Okay.
to like make up for any like flabbiness or whatever that might have been there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so and then in the second one he's significantly bigger.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh no, was that like the seed of this like horrible
Yeah.
like have you just been like working out and getting buff to make up for that horrible experience?
Right.
God, yeah, that shit makes me sad. And it also scares me because he's fucking doing Deadpool 3 or whatever, and it's like, dude, are you taking care of yourself? Like,
Well, now
God.
it's over. So
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe. he can
But
go
also,
back to being
so
normal
is his marriage. Which makes me so sad.
What, he got divorced?
He got divorced now.
That's so sad.
I know. That was one of
Poor
the
Hugh.
one. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
I don't know why that one really just made me so sad. Because he just seems to have it together, and like
Yeah.
they seem to like be really healthy or whatever.
Casey Musgraves put out a new album last week, and I was listening to it today. Because usually I'm on top of her releases, but I thought it was this Friday, whole thing. So I was listening to it today. And she's like my favorite singer.
Sure.
People
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
And she just got divorced a couple years ago, made an album about it. And this one is kind of like, I'm changing my life. I just want to like chill and have a good life and like all this kind of stuff. I was like, she's just really been through it.
Yeah.
Like, what? So I understand is my point. I do that too.
Yeah. I don't know why. Divorce makes me so sad. But usually it's a good thing. I feel like.
I mean, it's good for people who don't love each other to separate.
Yeah.
That's good. But it's awful and painful.
Yeah, it's really sad.
I don't like when people are murdered by their significant others.
Yeah,
That
that's
always really
bad.
bothers me.
Yeah, I think I'd rather my friends get divorced.
I think about that sometimes.
Like the
Like-
likelihood of a spouse killing you?
Not me, just like, what if one of my friends was murdered?
Yep.
Actually, maybe this isn't for the podcast. Never mind. But
No, go.
That's one of my friends was murdered. Actually,
Fuck.
I'm realizing now that it's technically murder. But he was hit by a car and they just drove away. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awful.
It's really bad. Like, but yeah, it's strange. But also, that's something. I mean, obviously, for his family, it's different. But for me, I'm always. I don't know, something about being hit by a car. I don't feel like that's murder, but it is.
Yeah. Fucking Christ.
Anyway,
Whoo. Well,
you haven't even asked your question
I haven't
yet.
even asked my question yet. Anyway, hello everybody. My name is Ari Wojciech,
My name's Casey Young.
and this is,
The Ticket.
and we are back on format, baby.
Hey,
We've been bopping around doing some weird stuff.
you guys never knew what to expect.
You never knew what to expect, but we are back, and we are ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still kind of on this journey of movies. We've been the questions I've been asking have been around like why why rank movies, why build a list of
Yeah.
top 250 movies or whatever, and like what makes a good movie, why would you do a list like this in the first place, yada yada yada. And today I kind of want to just talk about rewatching movies,
Okay.
which I think is kind of like a weird thing. I think a lot of people in my life don't rewatch movies, and they think I'm weird when I do. And I was struck by your relationship with Scream.
Uh-huh.
The first time you watched it,
Oh, yeah.
how did you feel about it?
The first time I watched it, I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
People who don't know me, if there's anyone who doesn't know me that listens to this podcast, I have a Scream tattoo. I'm a big fan of Scream. I think people who know me as a movie fan, which I guess is everybody. I know a lot of people who didn't know me before I like worked in movies, with screens, things like that. So they're just kind of like, oh wow, you like movies. People who know me as a movie fan, I think they associate me with Scream. Like we're almost synonymous. Like every time there's Scream news, people will text me.
Oh, that's cute.
They'll be like, when are we seeing the new one? Things like that. And that's something I do as well. When the new ones come out, I buy like 20 tickets and everybody goes on opening night and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so fun.
It's a lot of fun. And I'm constantly buying merch, things like that. Anyway, you get it. I'm a big Scream fan. But yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, good movie.
But yeah, but you weren't ready to like get a tattoo or anything.
Not at all.
That's-
Probably wouldn't even consider it.
Yeah, that is so fascinating. And then what changed? Like what happened?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I about a year went by, and it was October, and for Halloween, Netflix had all four, because at the time there were only four. Had all four. And I was like, oh, watch all four of the Screams. Because at that point in time, I'd only seen the first one. And prior to the first one, I had seen Scary Movie probably about 4 or 5 times.
Oh,
So I was
that's
like,
so
I
funny.
know this already,
Yeah.
basically. Even some of the lines are the same. That's a great movie. Scary Movie, good
Dude,
movie.
Scary Movie is a good movie. Scary Movie 2, also good.
Also good. Also good.
Anna Faris, dude.
She's unstoppable.
She's amazing. Yeah. But you sat down and watched all the Screams.
I sat down and watched all the Screams. And I don't know. It could have been completing the arc, where I was just like, man, these movies are great. And the first one is the best movie ever made. I can't believe that they did that. They just let him do that.
I need to watch it. I've never seen it.
Oh, Ari.
But I've seen Scary Movie, which is so funny. So
Ari.
I know, I'm
You're in
excited.
for a treat.
I'm excited. This Halloween, baby. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. All 7 Screams.
A 7.
There's 6, but
The 7th one is coming out.
the 7th one, you know what? I don't even know if it started production, so it's not coming out.
Sans, our favorite actress.
Sans our favorite actress. Sans our second favorite actress. But including our third favorite actress.
yeah. Hell
So,
yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, your relationship to the movie changed though upon
Absolutely.
rewatch.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I have an even bigger one for you.
Oh, okay.
When I saw Carol for the first time,
Yeah.
hated it.
Oh man.
Hated it. I thought it was awful. I finished it and I was like, what do people see in this movie?
Yeah.
It's bad. It's a bad
Shit.
movie. I was like, Kate Blanchett can't act. Rooney Mara can't act. Sarah Paulson is a waste. Like,
Damn. Go off.
I couldn't. And I was like, Todd Haynes, this guy fucking sucks. Watched it a second time, probably about a year and a half later. I was like, well, I believe in love. I believe in life. I can't believe it. Carrie Brownstein, best actress. Todd Haynes, he understands the human condition more than anybody else. And I don't know what changed. I don't know what changed.
Wow. Wait, Carrie Brownstein?
She's in it for like 2 seconds.
Oh, nice. Hell
Literally
yeah.
2 seconds.
I think that's so interesting.
It's weird.
Yeah, like
It's weird.
I think film is a thing to be re-experienced. You know, like movies, like I think a relationship can kind of build beyond a first viewing. I mean, this is all like obvious, but I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, at least in like my social circles, I feel like it's underappreciated.
Rewatching.
Yeah, and the
Sure.
way like your relationship to something can change. And yeah, I guess like, is rewatchability important?
Mm.
And like, what movies were you deeply moved by? And like, that's a good ass movie. I never want to rewatch it. And then, yeah. And then, yeah, let's just start there. What about that? What about the opposite?
Where I don't want to rewatch it, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there is one.
I'm surprised I've seen Zone of Interest 3 times.
Just because there's something wrong with you. So.
But that was a movie I was like, I don't think I want to rewatch this, you know?
Yeah, but it's just so great. That's the
It is
thing.
good.
I don't know if I've ever seen a movie and I was like, this is phenomenal, and didn't rewatch it. I mean, Apocalypse Now. I've only seen Apocalypse Now once.
And you like that movie?
And I like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
The Godfather. I've only seen once. Like that movie a lot.
Okay, yeah. I like The Conversation a lot. I've only seen it once. But I think I would rewatch it. The one that comes to mind, there's only one, actually there's two movies. Well, yeah, there's two movies that I really like, and I don't want to rewatch them.
Okay.
And I think we've talked about them on the podcast before. But Bone Tomahawk and Dragged Across Concrete.
Oh, the one where Michael C. Hall's wife has her hand.
Whoa, god damn it. Yeah, I just...
That's
now
why
I'm
I don't want to
seeing at
rewatch it.
Yeah,
I
now I'm
can't.
seeing it. Oh,
Oh no, I'm sorry.
no, it's like... it's horrible, but it's horrible. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, there was something about both of those movies that I really like. But yeah, I just have no desire
Sure.
to rewatch.
Yeah.
But are those movies going to be on a list I make, a top 250 list? I don't think so, actually. I do think, I personally think rewatchability is a factor.
Okay.
And I would like, if I'm trying to like get somebody into movies or like, or build a list like we're kind of doing, like, yeah, I would want it to be stuff that people can build a relationship with, you know?
Sure.
What movies do you think require multiple viewings?
I'm gonna be an asshole and say Oppenheimer.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, actually, so what movies require repeated viewings? And do you think that's kind of a bad thing?
No.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of example, because I like it okay, but for example, to convey my point, Memento. You don't really get Memento until the end, which is the whole point. And I think that you can find a lot more value in rewatching it.
Yeah, the rewatch of that is so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people, and which I think is, it's to the point, but also the opposite of the point. People that have made like fan edits and put it in order. I think that's ridiculous. That's the whole,
they're like missing the point.
You're missing the entire point. So I think that there are movies like that kind of make a really great, like, cohesive project, this piece. And I think experiencing again, knowing how it plays out can make it better.
Yeah, I would agree. Somebody once told me, and I don't know if this is true, but they told me that a study had been done in some college where they had two groups of students, and they were given like books to read, like fiction books to read. Half of them got the opportunity to read the ending first and then read it, and the others just read it like you normally would. And the folks who read the ending first, like, said they had a like better experience reading. It was like more fun to read. And yeah, I think about that a lot, where it's like once you know how the story works to some
Yeah.
degree, going back and watching it again or reading it again can be such a, like, it's just a different kind of joy.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like knowing a lot about a movie before I watch
Before
it.
going in. Yeah.
Like practically, and people honestly like make fun of me to the point of like insult about it, where like I won't look at a movie on Letterboxd or something like that.
Oh, that's great.
I can't remember what it was. Spoilers for people who are like me. It was Bones and All. Have you seen Bones and All?
Oh my God.
It was Bones and All. And I was on Letterboxd and I was like, oh my God, Barbara Hershey is in this. Barbara Hershey from Hannah and her sisters. And I actually have a story about Barbara Hershey. But but Barbara Hershey's in this. And I was, whoa. Rewind. It wasn't Barbara Hershey. It was Jessica Harper from Phantom of the Paradise and Suspiria.
I'm so bad. I don't even know.
That's okay. She's not as famous as Barbara Hershey. Anyway, Jessica Harper's in it, who I really love. And I was like, oh my God, Jessica Harper's in this. And her character, when you watch the film, her character doesn't show up until like the third act. And you kind of don't know that her character will be there.
Which one is she? I don't even remember.
She's her grandmother.
Oh,
Remember she
shit.
was her grandmother.
Yeah.
So I remember finding out she was in it, and I was like, oh my God, I really didn't want to know that. Without even knowing the movie, I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to know. I knew Timothée Chalamet. I knew
Homeboy. Bridge of Spies. BFG.
who the
Mark
hell-
Rylance.
Yes, Mark Rylance. And fucking
The guy who originated, or he didn't originate, but he was in The Pillow Man on Broadway. He was in The Shape of Water. What the fuck is his name? He's so good. Michael Stuhlbarg.
oh yeah, he is in that.
He says the title, which is
The
such
one-
an eye roll. Bones and all.
no,
fucking kill me.
the freaking girl.
Oh, I don't know.
A second lead.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
naming Michael Stuhlbarg. Anyway, I
I
was like,
love Michael Stuhlbarg. Oh, fucking call me by your name. How can I forget?
yeah.
Yeah. Luca
Luca loves
Guadagnino.
this guy.
Yeah, love him. Yeah.
I hope he's a random little dude in Challengers.
Hell yeah. I can't get a handle on if I want to see that or
I
not.
don't. But that's because I don't think I like Luca Guadagnino.
I can't get a handle. Like Bones and All, was so confounded by. I was like, what the fuck is this? God. But anyway, continue.
Well, I didn't
You were
want to know.
bummed that you didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something that I am really upset about. I don't like knowing things like that.
Yeah, I do
'Cause I think
like.
it's all valuable.
Yeah. I go back and forth, man. I truly believe that if a movie is done well, even if it's quote unquote spoiled for you, it'll still operate. It'll still work. And yes, maybe you're robbed of the joy of like a certain surprise or something, but I think if it's a really good film, it'll still like sit with you. And my favorite movies, there's always moments where I'm like, maybe this time it won't happen. You know,
sure.
maybe I'll watch it this time and that thing won't, like the character will choose something different this time.
Absolutely.
Like the universe changed or something. And of course that doesn't happen. But I think a good movie can stand not only multiple watches, but being spoiled essentially. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah. I have been watching less trailers though, I will say.
Trailers are a whole different fucking thing. Trailers are so ridiculous. And you know what really bothers me is the teaser trailer, which is always phenomenal.
Yeah.
Teaser trailers are great.
They've gotten so good at just squeezing all my hormones the right way.
I remember I saw the teaser trailer for Bodies, which I thought was fantastic.
Never saw it actually. I love that movie though.
You like the movie?
Oh
You said?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I like it. I like it pretty good.
It's good.
The teaser trailer is great.
Hell yeah.
The teaser trailer. I think the teaser trailer gets the movie. And then the trailer came out and it was like, oh my God, I get it. Like, oh yeah, they're doing a murder mystery. And then I saw the Nope teaser trailer like the next year.
Wait, which one?
Nope.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And that was also great. The Nope
Yeah,
teaser trailer
the
is awesome.
teaser's really good.
And then the trailer came out and I was like, holy shit, what did you do to this movie? It was like a frigging bloodbath. And that's what I really don't like when they make a really good trailer and they're like, "What if we add an extra minute?" Why am I watching a 2.5 minute trailer? All
Yeah, that
trailers
is
are like
really
over
annoying.
2 minutes long.
Yeah. My favorite piece of this is gonna sound so pretentious and annoying. My favorite piece of like film marketing is The Social Network.
Yeah.
Like that, they only had one teaser.
Yeah.
That was it. And then like the posters are so nebulous.
Yeah.
It's so great. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think as much as I was disappointed by this movie, the last, oh no, that's not true. I'm full of shit. Never mind. I thought the last Star Wars movie only had one trailer, but it didn't. It had two. But that would have been badass if it only had one. Yeah, if they like when they only have one, I think it's so sick.
Oh yeah.
It's like such a move.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, you're confident in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but I also don't watch trailers. I just don't watch them.
I'm down to watch them in the theater because there's something about like that's like how it's meant to be watched, you know. And if it's something that I like don't really give a shit about and I'm like curious, like I watched the Madame Web trailer because I was like, what is this?
Banger, great movie. No, the Madame Web trailer is god awful. It's like the worst trailer I've ever seen in my life.
They did Dakota Johnson dirty, man.
I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, I feel bad for her too.
Especially as someone who likes it. I'm like, I'm sorry you're going through this. Because it's like a fine movie. Like at the very I was very high when I watched it. And I don't think I'll ever watch it again not high, which is very important to note. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I wanted to go back in and watch it again. I loved it so much.
That's so funny.
But watching that trailer, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'd fire my agent too.
Is that what she did?
Oh yeah, the day the trailer dropped, she fired her agent. That's not even a joke.
Damn.
Yeah. I hope she finds somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's dying at work. But I just read an interview with her where she was like, it feels bad. She was like, I don't think I belong in superhero movies. She said, I'll never do it again. But also, it feels really bad.
Oh, poor thing.
Like,
dang.
And it's not her fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's the movie. I don't even know what happened.
It looks insane.
It's insane.
It's also insane. Like, I don't know what it is, but Sydney Sweeney being in it is also like weird. I don't know why it's weird, but like whenever she popped up on screen, I was like, why are you there? Like, what?
Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney has her wheelhouse, and when she's in her wheelhouse, she's great.
Yeah.
And in Madame Web, just a lot of choices are made. I think the only person who fully is like doing their character well is Isabella Merced, because basically all she does is stand around with her hand on her hip and has like sassy quips.
Oh God.
The other girl, I think her name is Celeste Coleman. I swear to God, it's as if the person who wrote it had never met a black person in their life.
Oh no! Oh my God!
Every 5 seconds, she's like, "This is worse than that time I was chased by the cops." She'll be like, Dakota Johnson will be like, I don't want to call the police, and she'll be like, "What, police?"
Oh no! Oh no!
It's really bad. I'm making it sound bad that I like it, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Every decision made in the movie is ridiculous. Dakota Johnson has zingers like but I don't have a neuromuscular disorder, and I hope the spiders were worth it. And the classic, he was working in the Amazon with my mom, who was researching spiders before she died. That's just one run-on sentence.
I can't. I feel bad for everybody involved.
It's really bad.
Like
It's really bad.
what? But it's also just like embarrassing. Like I don't understand. Like
It's embarrassing.
Sony, like get it together, man.
They don't know what's going on. They put all their money and brains in the animated stuff, and then forgot that other movies need to be well made as well.
I mean that animated Spider-Man movie is pretty fucking good.
Pretty fucking good.
And people love that new Teenage Mama. And that's not Sony.
Oh my god! Are they Sony?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm actually so glad you brought this up because I was driving here and I was like, I really want to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, which I love. That movie
need to
is
watch it.
amazing.
Damn, dude, I had
It's great.
Did I give you that poster?
No, do you have?
Fuck, I had like this like limited edition poster that they were handing out. at
And what happened
Paramount.
to it?
I think I meant to give it to my brother, and he was like, I don't know where it is. I'm so sorry. It was a dope poster too.
I can't believe that's possibly the worst thing you could have sent to me.
I'm so sorry.
I love that movie. That movie's great.
I need to watch it. Speaking of trailer that rocked.
Yeah.
That was a great
Yeah.
trailer. Yeah, I really dug what they were doing. I was like, okay, I see you.
I'd compare it to the first. What is that? Across the.
Oh, Into the Spider-Verse. Dude,
Which I love. That's like my top 10 favorite movie.
dude, that first one is so good.
Perfect all the way through.
Yeah, like the storytelling in that
notes.
is just so tight.
Yeah.
Like just great cause and effect, lovely way of like establishing character. Like yeah, great movie.
Mutant Mayhem should be in the Criterion Channel.
Oh hell yeah.
Speaking of rewatches, I saw that in theaters, and at the same time, it had come out on digital, and I watched it digitally that same night.
Whoa.
And then for like a month, I just watched like little scenes as I fell asleep.
Oh hell
I
yeah.
couldn't stop. I love that movie.
Dang, dude.
It's great.
I need to check it out. But yeah, I love this.
Rewatches.
Rewatching, building a relationship with a film. In movies that require a rewatch. We were talking about like Memento. Like that's such a great example because like you can't really understand the story until the end. And then if you go back and rewatch it, it's just such a different experience having all the context.
Yeah.
And then, so Oppenheimer, you were saying requires a rewatch. Why?
I think first watch it's phenomenal. And then I think second watch is when you get to pick up all the little pieces that Nolan puts down. I think the first watch you go, oh hey, Kenneth Branagh is back. And then the second watch you get to go, oh wow, he's talking to Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein's like, yeah, I could have told you this, you fucking idiot. Like you get knowing the character relationships in full, rewatching it, you get to go, oh man, like all what I think is so great about it definitely marked by I feel like Emily Blunt has a lot of great like one-liners, and they're always and I keep saying this, but they're always they're talking about the movie as a whole, or like the story as a whole. And I think that the entire movie does that. I like that in rewatch, every single character knows exactly what's going on, whatever that may be, and that it's almost like they can see the entirety of time in like the way they speak and things like that. It's like artistic and poetic, and I think it's very fun.
Cool, man. Right on. Yeah. So yeah, that's special. I don't know. Yeah, I was just thinking about rewatching today, and that's kind of where I'm at.
I love rewatching a movie I don't really like that much. That's like my favorite thing.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah. I love Legally Blonde the musical. I do this a lot with musical adaptations. So I love Legally Blonde the musical.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite musical. That's not true. Into the Woods is my favorite musical, but Legally Blonde is a very close second.
Okay.
I don't really like Legally Blonde the movie.
Oh.
But every once in a while, I'll go, let me throw on some Legally Blonde.
You know what? I do find myself doing that, like that show Maniac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with everybody's favorite white male,
Remember that time he dropped
Jonah-
his coffee? That was so funny.
Jonah Hill, in the show.
No, he dropped it. There's a picture. It's the greatest picture ever taken. He's walking across the street and he's holding his coffee by the lid. And the picture catches the exact moment that his cup is separated from his lid and there's like an inch of coffee spilling out of the cup. It's wonderful. And he's blissfully unaware. He's literally just walking with a lid and the cup is just it's wonderful. I'll show it to you.
No,
It's great.
Jonah Hill coffee.
Jonah Hill coffee. Google
Picture.
Jonah Hill coffee. But if you're in the know, you know it already.
I am not in the know, but I wasn't that into the show Maniac the first time I watched it, and then I like Cary Fukunaga. I remember really liking True Detective. I'm so curious if it would hold up on rewatch.
Cool. I've never seen it.
I really liked the first season. The second season was like bonkers, but I love Colin Farrell and Vince Vaughn. Like all the actors in the second season are trying their best. And then he like Beast of No Nation I found devastating. I think that's a great film. And if you can find his script for the first It online,
I was just about to say that.
it's like it's such a shame, dude. That like of all the movies that could have been, like, Cary Fukunaga's It Chapter 1 is like,
I think, man, I like Andy.
Machete.
Indeed.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know. That's why I didn't say it. Although now I think he's going by his real name, not his full. Like I think his last name is real, but
Oh, like
I think
Andres or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or he was and now he's not, something like that. There was like a hot minute where everybody was referring to him that way. Anyway, and I think the first It is good, and I also really like It Chapter 2, and I'm the only person that likes it.
That is true.
That is 100% true. No one else likes It Chapter 2. I think it's awesome because I really like the adult storyline. But I think Cary Joji Fukunaga really got it.
Yeah. It's such a shame. Like, I'm so curious what he would have done with the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I will randomly have a hankering to rewatch Maniac, but I don't really like it.
That's interesting.
And actually, it's the same with the fucking. I've been having this like insane love affair with Paul Schrader's Lonely Man trilogy. First Reformed, Card Counter, and Master Gardener. Hilariously, First Reformed is the best one. Just like objectively. And it's the one I've only watched once.
Okay.
Card
It's
Counter I've
untouchable.
watched twice. Card Counter I think is good. It has its issues. Master Gardener, not good.
Oh wow.
I've seen it 4 times.
Jesus Christ. Man.
And I think a part of the appeal is it's a movie where I see how it could be better. And I enjoy the setups and like imagining the way I would play out those setups as opposed to what is actually on the screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, what is that? Like am I inflating my ego? Like what's going on there?
No, because I do that with Marvel movies.
Yes, we've talked about this. Yeah.
Post Endgame, not to say that everything pre Endgame is perfect, but post Endgame, they're doing some really weird stuff. I'm so unbelievably critical of them post Endgame.
Yeah, it seems rough.
It is rough. That's because it is rough, Ari. I don't know what they're doing, and I'm not gonna get into Marvel because I swear I'm not gonna let this become a podcast about Marvel. But
Me neither.
it's it's confusing. Basically, everything that they're doing right now is confusing.
It's so frustrating. I will say one thing, like Marvel and Star Wars, they're the type of brand where it's like, I get why you're trying to just keep making shit. Like, I get it. But you have the luxury to just stop
Yeah.
and think about it.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
Like just like after Endgame, nobody would have been bummed if there wasn't a Marvel movie for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like you guys could have really just
Yeah.
stopped, looked at what you had, and then figured it the fuck out.
And what's even, I'm sorry.
No. That's it. That's like, but instead we get all this like shit that I haven't watched, but it seems like shit.
You want a Black Widow prequel, which was good, but also they made some really stupid decisions in that one too. But what makes me even more frustrated, exactly that, but also that they could do something really original.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I remember when WandaVision came. Have you seen WandaVision?
I started it. It seems fun.
It's great.
Yeah, I should
great.
give it. I should give it a shot.
I mean, everybody that was talking about it, they weren't lying. It was really great. And then the last 2 episodes, they go all Marvel, and it's like, man, why did you do that when you could have just had?
Yeah.
Every episode was just a sitcom homage, and it was like unraveling all of Wanda's sadness. And then they were like, don't forget, we need to introduce this villain. And it's like she literally comes out of nowhere.
It's such a bummer, man. I mean, I remember when Edgar Wright was going to do Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And like that seems to really be the moment where, yeah.
Yeah. I remember when he dropped out, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah, that bummed me out so much.
Because Edgar Wright is like, you're printing money with him making a movie.
Yeah.
And if Edgar Wright is like, ooh, creative conflict, you won't let Edgar Wright make your Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Ant-Man is so precious.
Yeah. Oh
you won't
my
let the
God.
director of Scott
Yeah.
Pilgrim versus the World make it?
Yeah. It's so insane. Yeah, Ant-Man. Like, are you crazy? It's not like, yeah, god damn. So disappointing. But here we are. So yeah, this is interesting. So yeah, there's like rewatching movies. There's value across the board, whether you really like it, whether you're kind of like on it, or if you dislike it. Like, I think that is something that's so beautiful about movies, and like, it's just a shame because I feel like the average watcher, there's just so much new shit coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have a chance to rewatch things. You know, like
Yeah.
if you're like my girlfriend, Ellie Ray, will say stuff like, why would I rewatch that? It's like a waste of time. You know, and it's like, no, you can find out something else about it, you know. But yeah, it's interesting. I guess I'm just trying to encourage people to rewatch things.
I think rewatches are great. I definitely do always feel that way though, where I'm like, I have so many movies that I want to watch.
Yeah.
But I am letting myself rewatch much more because there was a long time where I just wouldn't. But whenever I want to rewatch something, I just do.
Yeah, when I went through this in like period where I quit Letterboxd very deliberately because it was just kind of like taking over my whole movie experience. And part of the reason was because it made me stop wanting to rewatch because there was something so satisfying about like building this list of like movies I've watched. And now that I'm back on there, I'm not as precious, and it's been so nice. I don't give a fuck. I've watched Asteroid City like 6 times.
You watch Asteroid City. That's what I saw when I got on Letterboxd. It was Ari. Oh, Ari's on my front page. Oh, he watched Asteroid City.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Ari watched Asteroid City again.
Last week I watched Jackie Brown twice.
Well, somebody stop him.
Somebody stop this guy. Well, anyway, yeah. So, rewatchability as a factor of a movie, really, to me, it's just kind of a given.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I think it's all rewatchable. So, yeah. Anywho, it's so nice being back on format because now we get to have
Oh,
Criterion Casey.
thank you, Ari.
Yes.
Today,
Yeah.
we're talking about a movie I've only seen once.
Hell yeah.
Watched it very recently. It's one of my mother's favorite movies. It's one of my mother's favorite movies. I keep getting critiqued on my enunciation. So now I have to talk like a nerd.
Like a nerd.
Like a nerd. Young Denzel.
Oh.
Young Sarita Chowdhury. She's a wonderful actress. Mississippi Masala. Have you seen that?
Mississippi. Oh, I just added this to my watch list, actually.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm
Fuck
about
yeah.
to pitch you on it. All right?
Okay, hell yeah, let's go.
We talked about this a little while ago because we were talking about a movie that I want to work on. Where I like, especially in like lighter fare, like a rom-com or something. It's not even a rom-com. It's kind of funny. It's mainly a romance. But where like the movie is about something, but also kind of like about something else.
Hell yeah.
So Sarita Chowdhury. We'll back up. The first scene, and it takes up a solid story time. It's probably about maybe half an hour.
Oh shit.
Her family, she's Indian. Her family's Indian, but they've lived in Uganda forever. Her dad was born in Uganda. And this is all true. In the, oh geez, when was that? What was that? The 70s, 60s, 70s, something like that. Idi Amin was a tyrant. Are you familiar with Idi Amin?
No.
Well, he was a dictator in Uganda.
Oh wow.
And I forget exactly what he called it, but he literally forcibly removed all of the Asians. So
Oh shit.
there are a lot of Indian Ugandans of Indian descent, who were displaced and either went back to India. A lot of them went to Britain.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like thousands and thousands of people. And so that's the beginning. She's maybe 6 or 7, and they just shove them out, and they move to America, and they kind of bounce around a few states, and then when the movie really starts to take place, it's the 90s in Mississippi. And it's just like about their little Indian community and stuff, and then she falls in love with Denzel Washington.
Oh, hell
Denzel
yeah.
Washington's so cool and all this kind of stuff.
This
And
sounds great.
it's great. It's great. They have unbelievable chemistry. They're both young and hot, and they're just being young and hot together.
Dude, young hot Denzel is a time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to like. I feel like we're trying to like make movie stars right now.
Yeah, because they realize that. Yeah. Anyway, continue. We don't have to get into that. But yeah.
They're like trying to make it. So they're like, ooh, top billed, Paul Mescal.
Hell yeah.
He's great. Always should be top billed. Also, who is this guy? Everybody goes, Paul Mescal's so famous, and he acted for the first time 5 years ago. Yeah. And why is that, guys? Why are we just forcing Paul Mescal to be famous? Let's give him some time. Let's let him breathe a little bit.
Fair, yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy, and this is actually a social phenomenon with young women in the industry.
Okay.
They get famous, and then they put them in like 20 movies in a year, and then people are like, I hate looking at her. Please stop putting her in movies.
Yeah, that does happen. Yeah, that's what happened with Jennifer Lawrence.
That's what I want.
The poor dear.
And that was a big thing when after Last Night in Soho, everybody was like, let's give Anya Taylor-Joy a break.
Sure.
Let's let her just live.
Yeah.
Because I think, what did she say? I can't remember the movie that she quoted. It might have been Thoroughbreds, which is another one of my favorite movies. That's one I rewatched like 10 times in a month.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which was 2019. She was like, I haven't stopped working. I just haven't stopped. It's cool to make money and be famous. But she's like also back to back.
Yeah, that's
back,
rough, man.
And she's like 27,
Yeah, Jesus.
So it's cool to see Denzel being like a draw, he's first billed in this indie.
Yeah.
But also, he's not Denzel Washington, the movie star, the greatest actor to ever live.
Right,
He's just kind
right.
of like in his little middle period,
Hell yeah.
which is awesome. I think a lot of people have the best movies in those times.
Yeah, they're just figuring things out,
Yeah.
taking risks.
And they still get to do whatever they want, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
It's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
it's like a little bell curve. You have to stick to the system to get famous, and then when you're too famous, you got to go back to doing things that only famous people can do.
What year was that? 96, you said?
Definitely mid 90s. I can't remember exactly.
When did He Got Game come out?
Early 90s, 94, something like that.
I love that movie.
I haven't seen it.
He's so good. Him and Mo Better Blues.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's great in that.
Man, that movie's
Young,
so good.
young and hot.
Yeah,
playing the trumpet.
fuck. Giancarlo Esposito's in that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
He's in a lot of them.
He's in a lot. He's great.
He's great. I like. This isn't about Mo, but this isn't about Mississippi Masala at all. But wow, I can't say words tonight. But I like Spike Lee. Really gets like just letting people be sexy for being sexy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
like he's just like, this would be a really sexy thing to do, and they just do it. And it's like cool,
Dude.
Hell yeah.
The way he shoots Delroy Lindo.
Yeah,
Delroy Lindo's
you got some fruity going on, Spike.
dude.
Come on
Yeah,
now.
he's like got such big daddy energy
Oh yeah,
whenever he's on screen.
oh yeah.
Fuck, Delroy Lindo rocks. What the fuck are we talking about? Okay, so Mississippi
Masala.
Masala. Yeah.
Yeah, so then it's just about like the tension that they feel dating and stuff.
Sure.
And like there's all like this like racial conflict and things. But what I like so much is that probably a solid third of the movie is about how badly her dad wants to go back to Uganda.
Oh.
He's like it'll be a scene of Denzel and Sarita like having just a great time, and then it'll cut to her dad, and he's just like staring out the window, and he's like, I wish I could go back home. Like, I miss my home so much.
Oh, sad.
And his wife is just like, you'll go back. It'll be fine. You're gonna be okay. All this kind of stuff. And he's like, I miss it so much. I miss it so much. And he has like pictures from home and stuff on the wall.
Oh God.
And then it'll cut, and they're like skipping down the beach. They're like, I'm so in love with you. And he's like, I miss it so much. I mean, it's not ridiculous at all. It's woven together in such an unbelievably beautiful way.
Oh, cool.
I really like. I'm trying to think of a movie that does this before I say what it is, but I can't. But like movies that kind of reveal that like you don't really know a lot about your parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's one where she's just like, Dad, you just don't understand him, and why are you like this, and we live here now, and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I was born here. Like, I lived in this place. Like, all of these deep things that he doesn't. I wouldn't necessarily say that he keeps it from his family, but just like these emotions that he's feeling.
Yeah.
That would not be in the forefront of her mind because she's 23 years old.
Yeah. Ugh. Dude, yeah.
It's really great. It's really great.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No, that sounds great.
it's
I'm
young
sold.
love, it's
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
family drama.
Mississippi Masala?
Yeah, like a tikka masala.
Hell yeah.
Shot by Ed Lockman. That's cool.
I don't know who that is.
Wonderful cinematographer. He shot Carol.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, I remember this a couple times. This is a mild tangent. A couple of times I've met celebrities, and people will come up to me and they'll go, just so you know, this guy, he's not like cool. He's like a little mean sometimes.
Oh God.
Literally, I've gotten this warning a couple times. And then I'll meet these people. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is like the nicest guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
So Ed Lockman came to my job once, and before we knew that he was coming, and my boss came out to me. He was like, so I see that Ed Lockman's going to be here, and I just want you to know I've met him a couple times, and he's not the nicest person. So if he's mean, don't like take it personally. he's just kind of like that. And then I met him, and he was just like super sweet. You know, I was like, "Can I get you anything?" He was like, "No, I'm just gonna go get in my space, whatever." You know, he was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to see." It was like a private documentary, something like that. He was like, "I'm so excited. I'm so glad to be here." Blah, blah, blah. Like, just and he's just coming as an audience member, just to like hang out and chill. And I was like, "Man, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, I'm always suspicious when people say stuff like that. I'm like, how much of that is you?
Absolutely.
You know,
Because actually, in these, I'm thinking of 2 instances. These were the worst people I've ever met. In my life.
saying that. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, they probably just sends you bad vibes.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, anytime I'm shitting on somebody, it's high time I looked at myself, you know.
Got 3 fingers pointing back at you, my friend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, right on. Well, Casey, what a nice little tight little episode. We're back at it.
We are back at it.
So since we're back at it, we're gonna return to an old classic.
Nice.
Billy Collins, Rain in Portugal. Let me see. Let me just pop it open. What do we got here? Give me a short one. Here we go. I think I read that one already, actually.
Shit.
Fuck. Microscopic Pants.
Nice.
That's a wild title. All right, everybody. We're going to close out the podcast today with a poem by Billy Collins called The Rain in Portugal. The book is Rain in Portugal. The title of the poem is Microscopic Pants. Among the more remarkable features of the calendar, right up there with the meandering date of Easter and the regular appearance of Flag Day, is how the end of May slips unnoticed into the beginning of June. It's a transition so subtle, usually one day of sunshine and birdsong passing into another day of sunshine and birdsong, that it feels like being switched as an infant from one of your mother's breasts to the other, which is how the Bengali poet Tagore described the smooth transition from this life into the next. A truly striking way of putting it, like saying the ants in your pants have ants in their pants when you are more nervous than usual, because it's fun to think of ants wearing pants, and it rhymes. Plus, it suggests an infinite series of tinier and tinier ants pulling on smaller and smaller pairs of pants, like the facing barbershop mirrors of my childhood when my newly shorn head would repeat itself down a hallway of reflections. I hadn't heard of Tagore back then, nor had I given much thought to the calendar. But I knew I did not want to vanish down that hallway, never to see my parents again, or my dog Sparky, and never to grow up, as it turned out, to study Tagore and think about the months bearing their old Roman names from one year into the next.
Wow.
This guy can get kind of goofy.
Ants in your pants.
I like that.
That's
Thanks,
pretty good.
Billy.
Thanks, Billy.
All right, everybody. Well, my name is Ari Wojciech,
My name's Casey Young.
and this is
The Ticket.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.